between three distinguished gentlemen, locally known, especially around the Hamilton area. Couldn't miss them if you walked by them. Welcome to Three Minds Think Alike.
Episode 5. You can count on your fingers. How's it going? Welcome back. I'm Spencer Grenier, joined by Kyle Chambers and the Max Hatter. And by the way, happy 4th of July to you, the listener. And just want to thank you, as always, for tuning in on a regular basis and listening to our interesting topics. If you're new to the channel, please hit like and subscribe and continue being part of our great journey here on the podcast. Gentlemen, it's that time again. I don't know about you, but I got my cup of joe and off we go. With everybody said, let's dive in. With the world evolving, technology enhanced like we've never seen it before. Now, with the introduction of AI, VR, and performance simulators, I think it's safe to say that the future is now. Unlike George Jetson, flying cars are still on the bucket list to see before our time here on this earth has come to a close. However, there is a downside, especially for us humans. Being too focused on technology can affect our momentum. Scrolling through social media can affect our value time being outside playing sports, participating in social gatherings, even having the afternoon to take your dog on a walk. And just when you thought the ice cream truck was in the neighborhood, well, guess what? It was, and you missed it. And even being there for the most special milestones that our children accomplish. Technology is the norm for our civilization, but it's up to us individually to make sure that we take our value time with technology into moderation. So, gentlemen, I want to ask you, do you feel that technology can be too much? Kyle, we'll start off with you.
I'm someone who's a massive proponent of technology. Obviously, Spencer, I've had different radio shows that I've done and I've been involved with technology. Having said that, technology is something that's not always healthy for people. People need to get outside, be a part of human interactions, as you said. And I think too much technology, sitting and scrolling all day, it can affect your physical and your mental health because you're not seeing people, you're not getting out there to talk to people, and you're also not doing as much physical activity as you would without technology. So if you're someone that doesn't thrive on a lot of physical activity, maybe reading a book or just sitting in the park or doing something where even cleaning your house. I remember it was only me and a couple other people in the house I'm living in. I was basically house sitting, and I found cleaning the house was a sense of accomplishment because I was doing something away from my technology. Mind you, I was listening to my podcast while I was doing it. But just getting up and being physical and even doing simple tasks can be a huge factor. How about yourself, Max?
Yeah, I use a lot of technology, like probably a lot more than you, because I have probably doing lots of things. So I'm like in my room at my computer most of the day, and when I go out, like I always have my phone. But then that's because there's fitness trackers and things on there, so I can get my daily steps in, even though that's not a problem because I walk a lot. Like I mean a lot, everywhere. I'll take my dog out. That keeps me away from everything, even though I'm just using my phone as an MP3 player or something. It's like it's always there. If you need to call or my friend needs to send me a message or whatever, I'm right there. And which is one of the reasons why I didn't want to adopt a cell phone in the first place.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's especially for us, we're broadcasters. So no matter what we're doing, we're always having a screen right in front of us. And which leads into my next question what are some ways that we can spend less time with advanced technology?
You could go out with your friends and hang out in real life. You could go to a sporting event, a movie theater, even though that's sitting down. Same with going to a play. But yeah, sitting down is probably worse than cancer. A lot of articles are saying online, but that's online. You could go to a festival or a local event. Like just the other week, you and I went to Open Streets, and what I didn't expect was the Italian Heritage Festival was also happening that same day. So just went from one to the other and then walked down to the pier.
That's right. Yeah, we almost died because of the heat. That was that 90-degree weather day. It's like, oh my
That was
God.
mostly you.
Yeah, I know. And Max
was-
Max was wearing more layers than me, and the fact that it looked like I jogged for 2 hours.
Yes.
But gentlemen, I think there was a great story that came out of that. If you guys didn't go out and do that on the street on that hot day, you wouldn't have the story. So it's not just about going and doing something, it's the memories you have as friendships. So the getting out and doing things increases people's bonds together of their friendships or their relationships.
And Kyle, I do have a question for you because you're right with that. It's the fact that we are human beings and we need that interaction with each other. We need that human touch. And with technology that's advanced, it can just be in front of a screen, but it's not realistic. It's that you can't hug the person or do any physical activities with the person. So how do you feel how important it is that we need to just put the phone down, put the laptop screen down, and go be in front of a human being?
What's very important, there's a gentleman that I know through my karate, and we sit once every couple of weeks. We'll go to a coffee shop, we put our phones down, and we sit, we have a conversation. Sometimes the conversation lulls, we look out the window while we're talking or whatnot, but it's something to get away from it. And if we put up our phone to text a significant other or something, we apologize to say, hey, sorry, and the other one goes, okay. But it's just that sense of respect, because I find even when you're with your family or whatever, what have you, the phones can always be around. But having that time, even if it's once every couple of weeks or a lot of time throughout the month, even throughout the day, to get away from the technology is important, because it makes you feel better, because you're actually making a point and an effort to have a conversation with others. Even something as simple as even my immediate family, we sit and we have dinner together. We do it every day for the most part. We've done that since I was 4, and we'll sit at whatever time, 5 o'clock, and have dinner. And especially on Saturdays and Sundays, we'll have a bigger meal when none of us are working or whatnot on the weekends. And we'll sit and have a little more, a more expensive meal. And we'll talk about what we have to do for the week, or with a bottle of wine. That's just something we do to get away from technology and the rest of the world.
When you were saying about you and your friend going out for coffee, it's just like you and I, when we go out to Port Dover and grab a coffee, we were talking about making a podcast. Look how that came full circle. Makes me happy with that. But even speaking of a table, let alone a family table, Kyle, that's considered a piece of technology. It's an object that is meant for, of course, for gatherings and eating food, right?
Yeah, it's surprising that a lot of people think technology is just tech, you can buy at the store for your computer and stuff. But if the actual definition is something that makes life easier, or
Yes.
so a hammer, that was technology when it was invented, but now it's not considered. Now it's just considered that tool you have in your toolbox.
Which also the toolbox, another technology.
Yeah.
All comes together, boys. It all comes together. So does the idea frighten you that technology will advance over time and can make an impact with civilization?
Well, it already has made an impact on civilization. We even see how AI has changed things. Before, you had to, if there was a work report or something, I know people in different industries, in the tech industry, where they used to have to write out their entire report for a client or whatnot. Now AI is helping assist them. Even getting away from the AI side of it, now you have things like Grammarly that automatically goes and corrects your words, and there's different word assist, things like that. So it should still be in person, but technology's already advanced. We even see VR. So there's different VR simulators in the city for golf, so people can golf in the winter. We even see simulated golf VR leagues that they have on TV in the United States, and they're on sports bars everywhere now. I've seen major golfers like Tiger Woods do that. So there's things like that, but there's also different entertainment to keep you entertained throughout the whole year. And I think technology is evolving with humans. It'll continue to evolve, but making sure that we're all getting out and being physical, whether it's getting out for a 5-minute walk or doing a 2-hour David Goggins war workout, it's up to you, but it's all within reason of what you can do, but just doing something is important.
You got to admit, Kyle, that Top Golf event that Tiger Woods participated, that's awesome. That's okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't freaked out with that. I was actually blown away.
Yeah, they're really awesome because they can actually change the slope of the green and change from a fairway to a putter and all these different scenarios based on basically a giant center roughly the size of Scotiabank Arena, for example. And they basically just change this small area and it's like a VR video game on a giant screen, and then they can change the slope of the green depending if it's a fairway or a putting green or what have you. So I think that was really neat as well.
Oh yeah. And Max, this is why you and I need to participate in a Wii bowling league.
I love that game. That was a lot of fun.
Like, come on. I'm pretty sure back like in 2006 and 7, they definitely had that. Maybe not in North America because I would have heard about it, but maybe like in Japan or whatever. But I swear to God, like there had to be some kind of Wii bowling league in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I actually used Wii bowling a lot when I was trying to get rehabilitated from after being in the hospital for so long.
Oh, nice. Is how can technology be a useful tool?
Technology can be a useful too for things like fitness workouts. I remember my dad when he was trying to get in shape when he was doing amateur running, he used stuff like Wii Fitness and actually would track what you're doing. I know people that have the smartwatches now, so it tracks your stress levels and your sleep patterns and things of that nature. I even have something downstairs where I have a treadmill. It's not like on your wrist or in your pocket, but it's still technology because it's tracking how fast it can go, like 4.5 kilometers for how many minutes, and it tracks the slope and how fast that's going. And technology can be an assist as far as how it can help people with different orthotics. I have orthotics I use for my legs because I have cerebral palsy. There's different technology there with electric wheelchairs or standing electric wheelchairs where people can stand and move around standing, which I think is really awesome. So from the disability side, you have that, but you also have things like Ticketmaster. So tickets don't have to be ticket stubs anymore. You get them on your phone. People can transfer them over to you on your phone, your Ticketmaster account, and all you have to do is go in and swipe, and it
Or
goes. It
or
takes
you can
that
just show your phone and go, "Hey, scan
right.
this."
It takes that chance away from scalpers being able to scalp tickets like they used to be able to do 10, 15 years ago.
For me, it's like since I have issues with my eyes, technology can be great for reading as well. Like you can just have like a Kobo, like it's a little device. It holds all your books in. Basically, I think that's all it can do. Or you could do like have a have everything blown up big on a screen to make things easier to read, which is great. I always like reading on a screen better because I also have an issue with paper because it bothers my eyes. The well, the little dust I guess when it comes off, it bothers my eyes, even though it's a new book. Might actually be paper fragments. I don't know. But yeah, that bothers my eyes. So I prefer reading on the screens. So that totally helps me with the reading. Um, then there's like how I was talking about being in rehab with using Wii Bowling just a little while ago. They had this whole setup for all this technology at the hospital to help rehabilitate you in different ways. Like there was walking machines. There was like this kind of like weight. It was kind of a tech weight training machine. Well, sort of. It was mostly just to get you be able to use your arms again. And there were a few different ones they had for like fine motor functions for your hands, which were really interesting to do.
And I also wanted to add on even apps for younger kids. I feel that there's a lot of learning stuff for the kids, whether if it's alphabets, numbers, it's even Paw Patrol educational apps, Sesame Street educational apps that enhance their knowledge as they get older, because especially during the summer months when they're not in school, it's useful that they can watch Elmo help them educate themselves and grow and to be smarter, and which is great. And I really wanted to wrap this up with the final question here, guys, is technology is here, but there's so much objects of technology that we can choose from. But if you had to pick one technological object that means so much to your heart, what is it?
I'd probably choose my phone because I do some of the work I do for media on my phone. I have my computer as well, but my phone is probably the number one thing because I can do what I need to do from anywhere, and computer be number two because I can do my radio shows and my virtual things on my computer. How about yourself, Max?
Yeah, for me, it would probably been my iPod back in the day because that's where all my music was. But now it's probably my computer because that's where all the music is now. Because like I'm really big on music. Like I have tons of songs.
For myself, I like reading books. I just like opening up a story and my mind can just be lost into the imaginary world, whether if it's a mystery or an adventure or an action or romance. It just it opens up a perspective and it really it empowers me to write my novels, even doing monologues for the podcast here. If it weren't for books, I wouldn't have an expansive imagination to try new things. But gentlemen, I have to say I'm proud of you guys that we made it this far and continuing going strong. And just like every Friday, we have a blast. And I'm so thankful to have you guys in my life. And I know you guys know that. I hope you guys know that. And thank you so much for a Kick Butt episode 5.
Thank you very much, Spence. Happy 4th of July to all my American friends out there. You know who you are. Have a great holiday weekend.
Happy
Yeah.
4th of July. Let's go.
Happy 4th of July, all our American listeners or watchers, viewers.
God bless America, boys.